There she
Okay,
is.
here I
Hi,
am.
Marta.
Hello, hello everybody. Sorry for the delay.
Okay, well, we're here now. Well, everyone, we're really lucky today to have, we're in a talk today with Marta Sala, who's an old friend of mine and a designer here in Milan. Marta's actually in Paris these days. And so today we were going to speak with Marta about her line, her personal history, her life, and all sorts of things like that.
I'm very excited to be part of that. Thank you, Eric, and thank you, Inter Academy.
So, Marta, to get started, can even for me it would be helpful to know, how did you get started with Marta Sala Editions? Begin at the beginning.
So the idea was that I was in the design world since Heather in Azucena, who is a very, very old story about Italian design, about Italian architects, with my mother, with Caccio Dominioni, with my uncle, with Gardella. And I really, really grew up in that. And finally, I really felt the idea to move in something contemporary. Because if you get an heritage, it doesn't matter if it's a big one or a small one, but the important thing is to add something in contemporary and new. So I decided in 2015 to create my new company, putting my name because I think it's important to be involved personally in something we do those days. It's very important to be responsible and to put your name, your face on what you do. And then I started my new company, trying to bring in contemporary something about the past, about heritage, with a vision about present and future.
Okay, so I have two questions with regard to that. One, you mentioned your history with Azucena, and on the one side, which I believe is your family's historic company, but I never quite, the story isn't 100% clear to me. And then on the other side, you decided to team up with Lazzarini Pickering, who I believe are based in Rome. And how did that come about?
So at Azucena, my mother started in just after the war with Caccio Dominioni, Gardella, and Corre dell'Acqua. And really, there are people very, very in the idea that Milan was changing, and they had to create new houses, new way of life, and new furniture. And they start like a small adventure. It becomes really something important about Italian history in design. And it was bringing industrial finishing and know-how with traditional craftsmanship. And so I really, really grew in that. And I was very spoiled because when you grew in something, you don't really realize what you learn every single day. And then I say, okay, I want to go further and to go to give a new soul to what I'm doing, what I know. And since Heather in Azucena, I met Lazzarini Pickering. And what I love about what they do is something, again, really, really linked to culture, to history, and about the project. So each piece of furniture, of design, there is an idea behind, because it has to be really, really a proper solution about something. And it's exactly the approach I was trained and was born with. And I really, really find in Lazzarini Pickering the same attitude and the same quality, the same attention, and the same.
Marta, I think you need to move a little bit closer to the Wi-Fi. Marta. Okay, I think we lost you for just a second.
It's okay now?
Yes, now it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me, what was the first piece you did with them? And is that still in the line?
So it was not so easy to find how to go in contemporary and to leave something that was very secure, because past and heritage and vintage, all these things, people feel so comfortable. But again, I wanted to try to even again this kind of nostalgic idea that in the past everything was better and better done. Not at all, not at all. I think even in contemporary we find even much more quality and knowledge and know-how. And this is really the challenge. So when I decided to work with Carla and Claudio, the first pieces were in the archives because I needed something to fall in love with and to fall in love with the idea and with the identity of them. So the first pieces of the first collection, more or less, are all from the archives of Carle Claudio. And then the collection grew up and we decided about new pieces because of what I need, what I think the market needs, what they need for their project, what clients are asking for me. And it was very important for me to go on in collection and not just in single pieces, to give a new, really, really new lifestyle, new identity, new idea. What I love again in Latin Pickering, they're very, very contemporary about the idea of modularity, multifunction. So there is a lot of, how to say, degrees different of lecture you can have about the pieces we put on the market, I put in the market.
In the 5 years that you've been working together with them, how has the line evolved, changed, morphed, developed from where you started, where you were going with vintage pieces from their archive to what you're doing today? How has it grown, changed, evolved?
But I think because I am the entrepreneur, so I have to give a kind of input about what I want, what I consider that market is looking for, or what I think is just worth to be put on the market. So each collection, each years I present a new collection for the Salone, and I give a title, and each years is a kind of challenge. And I think even for Carle Claudio, it's not easy. And side of that, clients are very important because they're asking for product. And more clients are very, very well trained and knowledge about interior. So it's important to give them something a little bit different from all this product on the market who are very, very good. The quality is superb, but a little bit more similar. So identity, for sure, is one of my focus points. Utility, all these pieces have to be very, very useful, well done. So my project is always what I'm talking about is what I need or what I want or what I hope to do. The architect I choose to work with and my craftsman, because the knowledge of my craftsman is really, really part of the project. And more clients are looking for piece unique, like quality and like project, but available in number. Because I think you need chairs, you need table, you need, and professional more and more look for that.
And tell me, so you were saying, I was curious, what do you think is missing now? What are the things that you think still there's space to add? You say you're the entrepreneur. What do you see missing from the market?
I think identity means the idea more even. I think in each project we really, really need an idea, and then we build around it. An idea is always linked to how you use a piece of furniture, how you optimize use and space, and this is very important. And again, respect for the clients. When you make furniture, when you're an architect, it's more even because it's globally. But when you make furniture, you got a kind of ethic you have to respect, because everybody the clients will live every day with the piece you sell him. So really, I really try to give him the best project, and best project is most well thought and most well done.
But in terms of the specific, if you're saying, do you feel that are you looking to develop, or which are the categories that work best for you? Seating, carpets, case goods, lighting. What are the areas that you found have worked? What do you feel like you're best known for? What are the pieces that are the best sellers? What's doing well?
It's very surprising me, because the pieces I thought they were the goal, how do you say, the bestseller. In fact, maybe because I love them so much, they're a little bit sophisticated, because I'm very, very spoiled about that. So it's not really what I expected from the market. But the pieces that sell more, I think, are the armchair, the chair, the sofa, all the pieces where you sit on, because the shape are so unexpected, and at the same time the knowledge about my craftsman and the comfort, and they're very intriguing, I think. So they're very good. And now I start with the lamps and the table. But really, at that point is the seats, the chair, yeah, the armchair, the chair.
And that's what I really think of. That's what I see as your iconic pieces that have sort of your signature to them. Always, at least from my eye, a mix of metal with upholstery. It seems like there's always metal involved in the piece.
Yes, yes. I think metal is like, you know, like a jewelry. You bring a kind of something very, very unique and a light on a piece. And again,
go ahead.
Yeah, and again, you mix these two so Italian knowledge about industrial, how to make things. You know, they're cut by laser there, and then they're finished by hand. And these two knowledge give a different souls to each piece, I think.
Well, you talking about the artisans? Are you? Do you have most of your things made in the area of the Meda Brianza here around Milan? Do you work all over Italy? Where do you source your things from?
I'm very spoiled, and I go to Brianza because I go once or twice by week to my craftsman. So for me, it's very important. In one day, I can go to visit them and to check each single pieces because there is these two way to work. Each single piece, in fact, is unique. So you really to have to put them together, and everything has to match perfectly. So it's really a kind of organization. Seems very easy, but in fact, it's not. And in Brianza, really in 10 square kilometers, I don't know, you find all this knowledge. So maybe it's a little bit more expensive for sure, because Italy is so rich about craftsmen and knowledge all over the country, but it's not easy to put them together for me alone like that. But because another goal is really to be bespoken, because again, people love to enter in the process about how to have these spoken pieces, because they feel more engaged in that and they will be more in love with the pieces. So the fact to go so easily to make craftsmen, they allow me to make the quality control and the bespoken pieces.
And as you grow and as you move forward, do you think you'll continue to work exclusively in sort of the Meda Brianza area outside of Milan? Do you see yourself taking your things to a more industrial level? Because at least when I do my things in Meda, it's a real artisanal process. Even if they're doing modern things that appear very machine made, there's a lot of hand craftsmanship and a lot of, as you say, but as things move into series, do you see yourself keeping to that very niche market, or do you see yourself expanding things, growing, moving to more industrial processes?
So we are more and more involved. I am more and more involved by project about contract, means nothing, but it means a little bit more huge number. So I spend a lot of my time looking for new solution in production. I really very concerned about that. So I got other kind of production, a little bit more industrial, to be able to give a better price with the same quality, but then in number. So it's two different challenge. It's not the same, because people at one side, they want piece unique, and the other sides, they want number, and they want to be competitive in project about the budget, because we're always very involved by budget. So for example, one of the things that really try to offer is different finishing, different material, to give a different range of prices. For example, for the metal, I got about 20 different choice. Even again, because you can be bespoke in your piece, and then because you got different range of finishing and the costs are different. I think the more I'm close to a project, I can give the best solution to the clients, and I can find the best way to produce. Because it's not, sometimes the bigger are less expensive for kind of production, but for other production who are very specific and very difficult, they're more expensive because they're not really trained to that. So each time I really try to give, to confront myself to different people to give the best price and to the best offer.
You and I last year had an experience working on a contract project together.
Exactly.
And you know, we try to bring in artisans and artists and specialists into our commercial projects, but not everyone can make the jump. You know, some people they don't know how to, for want of a better word, dumb down their product, because in a commercial project, a hotel project, ultimately the hotel has to make money. and our budgets are not flexible. We have to work within them. And I was really impressed at your ability to engineer your product so that it could fit the budget that the hotel had. And it was great because it didn't become painful for me. Sometimes it was a lot of work on my side to help the artisan, but you took it into your own hands and made it work.
Sure, but the fact is, with you, it was very clear and very easy for me. What I told before. You tell me what were the budget we have to respect. So then after, it's up to me to find a solution. And again, because Italy is so rich about opportunities, and people are always trying to improve. Craftsmen, they are very, very involved in those days because there are difficult days. So themselves are very, very keen in going in experimental new things. Before, when I used to work in Azucena, it was very difficult to have piece unique, for example. They oblige us to have a small series, so it means a storehouse. But nowadays, because people, they want everything so specific, it will be just a cost. So the more solution I'm able to find for myself, the more solution I can offer.
Tell me, I think your product is very modern, and I often see it used in very, very modern environments. And in the projects we did together, we were using your product in historic environments, traditional interiors, and I thought that it worked very well together. How do you see the use of houses changing and the use of your product in houses changing, developing? Where do you see things going? Do you see things interiors being very, very modern? Do you see things becoming a mix? Do you see a resurgence of traditional? What do you see going on? I mean, because you're taking orders from all of your customers, and I only know the projects that I'm working on. What do you see going on?
Listen, it's very difficult for me really to judge, because my final clients, I never knows more or less who they are. I really deal more or less with professional. What I know is even the pieces are designed by the same person. Each of them's got an incredible identity. So you can mix them very well, or you can just put one of them and they got his own ethos with the environment. I love to create a kind of dialogue with, as you do in a very incredible way, between past and present and future, because it's so Italian and it's so what we are so good in that. I think it's very, very Italian, this kind of knowledge to mix different style and different period and different culture, because in fact it depends on culture. I really try to sell this kind of quality and this kind of images, in fact. And Carlo Claudio comes really from this world. For example, I was invited in Paris to the Italian embassy. It was something about traditional craftsmanship and in contemporary way. And it's a very, very old palace with a lot of gold and something. It was very impressive palace. And again, the furniture was looking so beautiful in that. And it was looking so beautiful that people thought it was the Italian embassy furniture. So they really never understand it. It was like for a show. I think more people nowadays, they live in contemporary houses and in contemporary space. But who knows, after those days, maybe they will fall in love again with past, and I don't know. I think we'll just wait to see what is happening nowadays. But home will be back to be very, very important, because public spaces for a time, they will be off limits. So I think really, again, this is the reason I'm so involved in what I do, to give something about very comfortable, and it's exactly what you do, for example. And I love to work with professionals. We share this respect for the clients and for the situation, and with humility, not just with an ego that we want you to go in a project and to impose something. No, I think we have to respect the place we work with and the people we work with.
Tell me, when you were here in our office with your friend Elena gosh, it must have been early February.
Yeah.
And you were the first person to say, I think that Salone is going to be canceled. You were the first person to say that. And I thought, oh, there's no way. How could they cancel that? And then, of course, you were right. The next 10 days later, they announced that they were going to postpone and then cancel the Salone. How do you think how important is Salone to you and to your business from year to year? And what do you think that's being canceled this year? What effect is that going to have for you?
So I'm very privileged because when I show for the Salone, and I got a very beautiful new project about the next Salone. And again, it's even with Fromental. Fromental, we met thanks to you. And we really, really share the same passion about details, about, again, knowledge, about bespoken, and all these things are really, really involved in. Why don't we decide maybe to have Salone just each 2 years? So people will have more time to enjoy, maybe a little bit longer. But for example, I make about 10 pieces by collection, and people in 1 year don't even have the time to absorb that.
Yes.
And can you imagine the big group, the big investor they got, and then after 6 months, they have to start again in a new investment, in a new thinking about new project so maybe we have to think about that. I know it's for Milano city, it's a huge event and it brings a lot of attention, a lot of money. But for the design world, in fact, and even for project, I'm not sure it's so easy to create something new. You know, really, you stop the salon in May, then it will be in October that everything is really, really set up. And then in February or January, you have to start again for the new. So I know it's very, very, maybe selfish what I say because I'm very, very small. But a little bit more time to think about project and about product maybe can be helpful too.
Mm-hmm. I tend to agree with you because I think there's a couple things. One, there just isn't that much that changes from 1 year to the next. I mean, at the end of the day, you're talking about furniture pieces. The evolution is a bit more slower than with, say, fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing I noticed in the last crisis of 2008 to 2010, I noticed there was a lot less investment on the part of the furniture companies in developing new pieces. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens at next year's fair, whether there are new things or whether it's just a new lacquer color on the same old armadio from the year before. We shall see.
I don't know. I'm always positive, but I think it will be a super salone because people, they really, really have time to think once because all the project more or less were on their way. So I think it will be more in detail and more in quality. You know, crisis, the only things to fight against crisis is quality, about human quality and project quality and work quality. I think it will be selective in that and attention for people more and more because we are more and more involved. I think about the other people and the people surround us and quality. And we will be more on demand about quality and more exigeant. I don't know how to say in English. More, yeah.
You were talking about the things were already underway. We were planning for this April to have what was my apartment to be redone as a new show space, and we were going to have some of your pieces in there. But and you're right though, because we had the extra time. Normally you finish the installation of the space, you finish it about 3 hours before the doors open, and now we're hoping to have the space now done by September, have it properly photographed, and by the time we get to around to next April, we'll have everything ready, all the photos. Ideally, it may have already been published before it comes out, instead of just saying, you know, I'm not hoping that things don't fall down off the wall while people are walking through the space.
Sure. But we got the chance that we are not employing people really. So for us, we can take time. It's not so expensive. I think for people who got big brand, they got a lot of people working. So maybe this period has to be more sensible, I think.
You're talking about this, the size between smaller firms like yours and like mine, and then larger entities like Cassina and Minolti. With the situation we've all lived through now, and who knows if it's over or not, but what changes do you see coming? to the business involved.
This amazing thing, this is the reason we are talking about on Instagram. This online, that before we were just a little bit even criticism too much. Now we say, okay, we are too much online. And I think again, here we will have a new quality because we know that it's in fact a big chance to have that. And at the end, maybe before we was just a little bit spoiled and we use this kind of social media communication or internet, but now we know that we have to make the difference even there. And again, I think at the end, human will come out and will make again the big difference. But I don't know. I really think about what will happen to give a kind of answer to that. So what will be the next for a showroom? What will be the next for a cinema? What will be the next for a, I don't know, for an exhibition? I don't know.
Tell me, you have your showroom here in Milan. You have your apartment, which is essentially a showroom in Paris as well. And this year at Deco Off, you did a big presentation with Fromental, which I believe you still have in piedi.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surrounded by them.
Okay. Would it be possible for you to show us the space that you have?
Yeah, I will turn up.
Great. Okay, so this is the living room, no?
Yeah, this is the living room, and it's called like Rock Mountain or Rock something. And as you see, it's really beautiful, like mountain. And with I just leave Fromental, Liz and team choose what they wanted to show, and with Lazzarini and Pickering, we really choose the furniture to work with, the color and the piece of furniture. So this is the first room.
And you're in a building on Rue Jacob in the 6th, no?
Yes, exactly. And I'm very proud because Rue Jacob is where all the people in design and in fabric are involved. So during this Deco Off, it was so successful. And again, to think that we had about 1,000 people in 6 days, and now you say, oh wow, can you imagine? In February it will not be possible. So this is the beautiful wallpaper you made with Fromental. Yes.
Well, this is the new colorway, the sort of peacock green colorway.
This is superb, and this is the ones who are in the Mandarin Hotel, the project.
Yes, where we have your chairs. I think
absolutely.
Where we got the cage chairs. We have those in the bistro. We have those in the bistro, and then we have the other one that has sort of like the brass kind of cage that you have in the bedroom, I see.
Yes, this is this is very special work created especially for the bedroom from Fromental, because last collection I present solution about bedroom. So and it is, and this is the armchair where incredible work about how it's done that you choose for the Mandarin. And it looks so well inside.
You know, you're talking about the bedroom, and this is something that you and I have been talking about, is up at the Mandarin, which is a project that's being phased over time, that when we get to the Villa del Lago, which is the big presidential suite, that we're hoping to work on that together to be able to kind of show the whole world of your furnishings, from the beds to the living room to the carpets and all of that.
So this is the last room. This is a studio. You see the carpet we present in Paris, in the Italian embassy. Again, we're talking about metals, about giving light and giving reflection. So I love this wallpaper because it's very more geometric.
I think you're more comfortable with the quiet quality of it, eh?
You know what? I'm really love with yours, because I think with the furniture, it looks like the birds are in a kind of cage, a kind of voliera, and I love it. Again, when we were talking about the details in metal, they really give light to light and life to pieces. So I feel very comfortable, and everybody was so crazy about this decor. And again, you say, oh my God, now what we should do, we should just have 1 people, 2 people at one time. Who knows?
Tell me, do you think that Deco Off will happen this coming January?
Sorry, tell me again.
Do you think that Deco Off will happen this coming January?
I don't know. They say yes. I don't know. I hope yes, because it means that things will be again. You know, I think people are a little bit scared about taking plane. The only thing. And I don't know, because the coffee is very different from the salone in Milan, because in Milan is more the salone, people present more a piece. So it's more about the detail of a piece. And the coffee is very complementary because it's about lifestyle, it's about wallpaper, it's about fabric, it's more a French atmosphere about a global project. So it's very interesting to be able to share the two show and to look at the two show, in fact.
Now, going back to your apartment and your building, you and I know each other actually through our friend Andrew, who is your downstairs neighbor.
Yeah, this is super.
And you and I met for the first time at Andrew's apartment in Argentina. I don't even know if you remember that.
Absolutely. It was an astonishing apartment. And it was so fun because I work in my courtyard after 5 years and I say the same guy and I say, but I think we met. And in fact, we met thanks to you. No, thanks to another friend in Argentina. I say, my God, life is really, really superb. This is the reason I hope that, again, we can be trust and sure in life and secure, because life is kind of magic and it can be so beautiful, even to meet people again very, very with, you know, comfort and with no panic. I think it's very important.
Now, tell me, you've been in tried to call me while we were on our talk. Tell me, so you've been in Paris now for what, 2.5 months, correct?
Yes, because in fact I'm there because I love this place and I felt more secure not secure in Paris, but more comfortable. And I'm looking to go back to Milan, even just to go to say hello to my craftsmen, to see the people I work with in Milan. But for the moment, the plane are a little bit complicated. But in fact, I don't know. I feel very privileged to be here. I feel very safe, and the house is amazing, the courtyard and everything.
And tell me but you in Milan, is your company back up and working again? Were you able to handle smart working? Did you shut down completely for the pause?
So we just opened on Monday, and the showroom is perfect. And but it's not a big showroom, but I think it's people, they come just one by one or something like that. There is no problem and everything is safe. But I think it will take time that people, I think they prefer at least to come maybe here in Paris because it's more home. So it's just like to say, okay, I got two or three dates, for example, this week, because people they come home. I think they are still more comfortable. Then we will see.
Moving forward, do you foresee in the projects that you see coming in your pipeline, do you see more commercial projects, contract projects, or residential? Which do you think is going to come back first, or which is holding up best for you?
I think that people spend just about more than 2 months at home. So I think they want to change. Maybe they will not buy a sofa, but I think armchair, small chair, or I don't know, lamp. I think they want something new. And they more and more houses will become the important place to be. But for example, just today, I got a very, very important brand in Milan about a new showroom that was supposed to open in May. And they got a pop-up and they're asking me for the furniture. So it's very unexpected, in fact. Maybe hotel, I think it would be a little bit more immediately. And even because I think the showroom, hotel and everything, they have to change the project because they have to update the project. So it will take a little bit more.
Something that we're finding with the hotels is that there's not so much directives, but strong suggestions from the part of the government that we should, the hotels have to be cleaned more easily.
Exactly.
So I think we're going to be seeing far fewer carpets, which in some ways may very much help our budgets because carpets are a large expense.
Yeah.
And if we are able to justify not having carpets in guest rooms, we can save several $1,000s per guest room, which means we have more money to apply to art to furniture to fabrics, those sorts of things. I've been surprised. We've gotten 2 calls just in the past week about new potential hotel projects here in Italy. So
good.
I find it interesting. Companies that are using this quiet time to gut renovate and reposition.
Sure, but at the end they cannot close because they had to go further. So the ones who are still open, and I hope a lot of them, they really have to find out a new solution, something new, and to be more attractive. So, and again, we're talking about the furniture, about the past, the present, the how to mix the furniture. What is important is to give a furniture who the people they feel safe. And so I think that all the quality of the work I do, you do, Fromental and Lazzarini, Pickering, this kind of work so dense about quality is really, I think people will be maybe spend less money, but more in quality.
I think there's going to be a general flight to quality.
Yes,
I think that the things at the things that are at the very top may become far more desirable. I see this in watching auctions, even just a small item auctions. Like I watched a watch auction in Hong Kong. The very best things went for higher than I usually see. Exactly. I can pretty much predict what watches will sell for, and the good watches, things that you very hard to find, went very high. The things that are just average, I find people don't want them at any price. Even if I can recognize that something's a bargain, if I don't truly want it, I don't want it at all. I'm not willing to say, oh, well, it was a good price. If it's right, I'll pay. If it's not right, not interested.
Yes, I agree. I think it's the new, but I think even before this 2 months, the direction was this one. And now it's just more, we are more involved by that.
Yes. Well, Marta, thank you very much. Are there any questions from anybody who's been watching us? Let's see if there's got a questions section here. If anyone has any questions, please let us know. But in the meantime, Marta, I want to really thank you for speaking with us.
No, it was a pleasure, because I think it's important even to have a kind of view about people. As I say before, the fact to put your name on something and your face. And I think we did it, and we need to share really by ourselves, even if we cannot share personally, but it's nice to share even by video. I think we are very lucky about this kind of new technology. We used really a little bit to complain about that, but thanks God now we got this.
Yes, no, I've enjoyed doing this, and I find that the first one I did, I'm sure I did it all backwards, little by little. I'm getting better at it, and trying to learn where you're supposed to look at the camera and how to turn it on and how to answer it.
Yeah, me too. I'm totally unable, but I learn, and it's so fun because these 2 months I thought I was so boring, but in fact I had the chance to have the time to do things you never really have the time. So it was at the same time, it was interesting 2 months, and I don't want to repeat them, and I hope nobody would want to repeat them. But okay, we're lucky, so I think it was 2 months interesting. Let's see.
All right. Well, Marta, thank you very much, and please let me know when you're coming back to town, and I look forward to seeing you here.
Absolutely, and thank you to you and to all the staff of About Interior Academy.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye bye.